presentation today is to give you an overview of who Exendo is, and also to give you a clear understanding of how we apply our lighting solutions. Our goal is essentially to become, the one-source lighting supplier for the product applications that we present. Our main target market is the municipality clientele as well as industry. And industry can include retail, can include commercial, etc. So who is Exendo? And really who we are is we're a collaboration of technology and a collaboration of world-class partners. Exendo's technology is the digital HID ballast, or DHID for short. And what these are essentially is engineered retrofit lighting solutions or fixture package solutions. And also our company is focused on new product development. And you'll see as I present our product line that we've had a lot of firsts to market in North America. Some of our world-class partnerships include Aura Light International. Today you're going to learn about the cutting edge long life lamps, and EnviroLight and Celsa, who are reflector as well as lighting fixture manufacturers. So we've partnered with these companies to release some of the products that you're going to see today. So this slide here shows an overview of the key products. And here you can see essentially the retrofit ballasts. And these are available in 50 watt to 1,000 watt configurations. And we also offer complete turnkey high bay fixtures as well as street lighting fixtures. And we have the Aura lamps, which essentially are lamps that can be used today by any end user, whether it's a magnetic ballast or an electronic ballast. These are lamps that are designed to be introduced into applications and to introduce savings to the customer. Savings in terms of cost, expenses, but also in terms of environmental savings, reducing waste to the environment. So we're going to touch on all these topics today, and you'll be able to see some demonstrations. So in terms of the digital HID ballast and how it is that we apply it to the solutions that we apply it to, there's one thing we have to understand, and most of us in the lighting industry know that traditional HID lamp systems that are operated by magnetic ballast inherently degrade that lamp. And depending on the age of that magnetic ballast, as you can see in this chart, the gray line, which is your traditional probe start magnetic ballast, which is probably over 70% of the applications that are out there in industry. When you plug in a brand new lamp, whether it's a 400 watt lamp or a 250 watt lamp, you're starting at 100% lumen output, but as you can see with a magnetic ballast, there's that steep degradation right at the beginning. And that's something we have to keep in mind when we're presenting our digital solution, because that's something that's been eliminated. And as you can see here, the green line at the top is our Glow Green DHID ballast. And what we're able to achieve, essentially with a computer, because this is not a magnetic ballast, this is a computer that has a microprocessor in it, and also has embedded algorithms in it that are designed to control the lamp more efficiently, which means burn the gases more efficiently. Traditional systems, traditional magnetic ballasts are not a computer. So they're designed to just do their function, which is when power is applied to it, to strike the lamp hard at first to try to ignite it, and then essentially try to operate that lamp over a time period as stably as it can. Now, because it's a magnetic ballast, it's not that stable. When it comes to digital ballast, this is, again, a computer with improved componentry and also smart software that's able to make adjustments. So these are the key differences between the old technology and the new. And again, what we want to take from this chart is that with the new DHID ballast, lumen maintenance or degradation is going to be very steady over the lifetime of that lamp. This is actually a chart that's taken out of a pulsar metal halide lamp brochure. I believe this one is ICO lamps, for example. And what it's showing is that they're demonstrating what their lumen maintenance is on their lamp when it's operated with a magnetic ballast. So if it's a standard metal halide lamp or a probe start lamp, again, we're going to be, essentially in this case, they're showing a very smooth curve, but the reality is that within that first 5,000 hours, we're going to see a steep degradation. So initial lumens are going to drop quite rapidly, and that drop might be 30%. Over the life of that lamp, we're going to lose over 50% of those lumens. Again, with the magnetic ballast operating that lamp. With the digital ballast, or with a computer operating the lamp, we're going to sustain those lumens right from the start. So there's going to be no visible degradation of that light over the lifetime of the system. So what does this mean? First thing it means is that since we're not damaging the lamp and we're able to sustain the lumens of the lamp, we're also able to extend the lamp's lifetime. And just by using a digital ballast versus a magnetic ballast, the digital ballast is going to give us at least 1.5 times life extension. And those that are familiar with traditional ballasts and HID lamps know that after they run with a magnetic ballast, you also see a darkening of that lamp. The burn chamber starts to blacken. That blackening, of course, is blocking the plasma, and that's also leading to the inherent degradation that we see. With the digital ballast, that's eliminated. So again, we're able to sustain the light and extend the lifetime of that lamp. What that means is that now we can keep a digital ballast run lamp running 3 times as long as what a traditional lamp would run. So that means less relamping. That means less waste, less expenses operating that system. The other thing we want to pay attention to on this chart is that it's showing what the lumens are of a 400 watt lamp versus a 250 watt lamp. And a 400 watt lamp operated with a magnetic ballast is going to operate at its initial lumens because it hasn't degraded yet. Now, if we look at any lamp manufacturer's brochures or spec sheets, you can look at what the lumen depreciation is. The constant you're going to see is that within 5,000 hours or a year of operation, that steep curves happen. That steep curve is happening. So we are not installing a solution that is outputting 40,000 lumens initially. We are installing a solution that's outputting 25,000 lumens initially. The difference is that those 25,000 lumens are going to sustain, whereas the 400 watt lamp, after it's damaged, will eventually dip below the light output of a 250 watt lamp and eventually die and need to be replaced. You know, when I visited customers on sales calls, some of the key questions that we want to ask when we're qualifying the project is find out what their present system is and how they maintain their present system. And what we're going to find out is that traditionally customers that use HID lamps only change the lamps when those lamps die. Municipalities, for example, are only going up streetlight posts every 3 years or so for metal halide lamps. For high-pressure sodium lamps, they last a little longer. They go up every 4 years. They still have to go up. So we want to eliminate that. So this second chart here is just showing another example. This is, in this case, 320 watts existing metal halide magnetic versus 200 watt digital ballast. So you see the same type of performance from the magnetic ballast lamp, starting at 30,000 lumens, but quickly we're going to drop down below the light output of a 200 watt lamp operated by a digital ballast. So this is also where we get our energy savings, because we're going from a 400 watt lamp down to a 250, and we're going from a 320 watt lamp down to a 200 watt with digital ballast, which is more efficient than a magnetic ballast. So Xendo offers a full range of retrofit ballasts. So essentially we're able to cover any magnetic ballast application ranging from 50 watt, all the way up to 2,000 watt. All of these ballasts are able to operate either a metal halide lamp or a high pressure sodium lamp. This is something we designed into the product, which is to meet the demands of municipalities. We want to reduce their inventory. We can do that. They can pick one ballast, any wattage, and plug in either lamp type. Also, these products can be dimmed. Over the next few slides, we're going to go over some application examples, and it's going to give you a really good idea of how these retrofit ballasts or fixtures are applied. So here, essentially, we're showing in green what the digital ballast solution would be. And our product is called a Glow Green series product. So there's a Glow Green 50 watt all the way up to the Glow Green 1000 watt. And as you can see here, the Glow Green 50 watt to 70 watt product would actually upgrade your traditional magnetic 100 watt to 150 watt product. So right off the bat, we're going to achieve some energy savings there, anywhere from 30 to 40, even 50% when we do this type of upgrade. Street lighting, also the Glow Green 100, 150 is going to be replacing 150 watt to 300 watt. So the lower wattage products are ideal for street lighting, for parking lots, pathway lighting, wall pack lighting, for example. And then we get into the higher wattage product. The 250 watt product we touched on would upgrade your traditional 400 watt. Then we get into the 400, 600 watt product, which is going to upgrade your traditional 750 or up to 1,000. And the 750 watt, 1,000 watt product is going to upgrade your 1,000 watt to 2,000 watt magnetic ballast.
Can I answer what hydroponics means? Is that hydroponic gardens?
Hydroponics, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, so in the greenhouse industry as well as hydroponics industry, we would have a competing product. Yep.
They grow? Or
Yep.
they grow?
Grow operations as well, yep. Yep. As well as greenhouses. High pressure sodium lamps are...
grow ops, I mean.
Okay.
But is it a grow bulb or is it just lighted?
We do have grow lamps matched with our ballast as well. For example, Venture Lighting has a product called Sunmaster. iLighting has a product called Hortilux. So yes, we also deal in hydroponics and greenhouse applications. Greenhouses especially use a lot of high pressure sodium lamps. So when we start talking about long life lamps, or when we're talking about ballasts that can operate metal halide or high pressure sodium lamps together, this is important to that industry because they use the different types of lamps in different grow cycles or grow process, or the grow cycle of the plant. So we're going to go over a couple industry case studies now. And Scion Incorporated is an application that we completed recently. It was an entire facility retrofit. In this case, they had existing high bay light fixtures that were 400 watts. And we upgraded them with the 250 watt digital ballast solution. We also upgraded their parking lot lights. So previously they had 250 watt metal halide lamps with magnetic ballasts in their parking lot luminaires. These are shoebox type fixtures, which you can see commonly in the industry. And also we applied the digital 100 watt to and the 50 watt to upgrade their wall pack lighting as well as their signage lighting on the outside of the building. So when we do a retrofit, there's two components. There's the ballast and there's the matching lamp. And essentially that's all you're buying. And then the electrical contractor, the electrician, is retrofitting that into the existing fixture, whether it's an outside fixture or an indoor fixture. Now, the key to the success of this project and other projects is really the short return on investment time that we can show. And really in this particular project, we were able to partner Scion with the OPA rebate, Save on Energy. And the ROI in this particular case for this customer was a year or less. And the lighting output was increased. In the case of the 400 watt high bay fixtures that they had before, they were outputting anywhere from 20 to 23 foot candles, and we were able to increase that to 30 to 33 foot candles in their facility. And when we do a retrofit an entire facility, we also see, because we're refreshing each and every fixture, we have a nice uniform overlap of light. The whole facility is able to be perceivably brighter. And all the while we're conceiving less energy. So this is the story and essentially the case studies that we present and are able to prove over the years and show the customer that essentially we are able to get the result that we want. In terms of savings, typically on a high bay application you're going to achieve 40 to 50% savings. The higher the wattage the application, the higher the savings. We can get into the 50% range. For Scion, we reduced their energy consumption on their high bay lighting by 43%. The entire project yielded about a 42% average energy reduction. So I've mentioned the word retrofit. There are two types of retrofits. There's an external retrofit and there's an internal retrofit. And really, it depends on the case or the application that we're looking at, how we're going to apply the ballast. In terms of an external retrofit, this is exactly what we did at Scion. So the electrical contractor essentially is bypassing the old ballast in the fixture. So there's an output from the digital ballast, which is wired to the socket, and then there's your input power. And this is showing a basic ballast. We also have ballasts that have dimming capabilities, so they would have a separate input into the ballast. Also, you can see in the middle there that we're showing a ballast with a aluminum block underneath of it. And also to the right, we're showing ballasts that are inside boxes or inside fixtures. So there are applications out there where yes, we will do an internal retrofit, but we have to keep in mind that the product that we're internally retrofitting is an electronic device. So even though this device is 94% all the way up to 98% efficient, depending on the product, it does radiate some heat. Now, Xendo has gone through great measures to make this ballast as robust as possible. On the label, we have a temperature rating, which is essentially what we hope customers are able to adhere to. And when we do install this product properly, it's no problem to stay within that range. But just so you know, from an engineering point of view, we've designed this with a sensor, a self-protection sensor, which is essentially a temperature sensor that will turn the ballast off if we reach a temperature, a case temperature measured on the case, of 85 degrees Celsius. So we don't have a lot of concern about putting the ballast inside of a box, but Xendo has a lot of experience in doing this type of thing. So we set forth guidelines, do's and don'ts, and this is documentation we can provide you.
So
you can see.
Question for you. So you can just change the ballast and keep the reflector on the old lights, or do you ever replace
That's right. That's right. So the question is, we can keep the ballast of the fixture and the reflector, keep the old ballast and reflector, and essentially do a retrofit using the same fixture. And that is one of the key selling points, because that is the least expensive solution that a customer can attempt to do. If they already own HID lighting, this is the first step that we're going to take with a customer, and that's to present to them a retrofit solution.
Yeah.
Now let's say a retrofit isn't feasible. Let's say that the fixtures that are installed there are old, they're damaged. Then we also offer the complete fixtures that already have the digital ballast in them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So to give you another example, industry case study, we also do a lot of work in the automotive industry, so we have a lot of automotive clientele. TRW is a worldwide tier 1 parts supplier, and they have a couple plants in Ontario that we've retrofitted for them. In those cases, it was a combination of external and internal retrofits. The one facility had enough room in their existing fixtures that we could fit our ballast inside of it. This is the 250 watt ballast, and this is the smallest ballast. So the smallest ballast comes 50 watt, 70 watt, 100 watt. These are designed to be retrofit into pretty much any enclosure, including for municipalities, pathway lighting, luminaires, any type of fancy luminaire or decorative luminaire. The lower wattage product will fit into and will upgrade up to 150 watt traditional ballast. And the 250 is like this. So it's still quite compact that it will fit in a traditional magnetic ballast fixture. But I can tell you that in the industry, there are fixtures out there that perhaps it might not fit. And you have to keep in mind that there's also a labor element to doing an internal retrofit into an existing fixture. Doing an external retrofit is easier and costs less for the contractors. So these are things that we can play with in the presentation or the proposal to the customer. So TRW Automotive, again, typical application. We're upgrading their old 400 watt metal halide and high pressure sodium lamps in this case with brand new 250 watt metal halide lamps. And you know, the installation in this case, again, we see a great increase in lumen output versus the old system. So the area is much brighter than before. And also a savings in energy of anywhere from 40 to 45% on the high bay lights. And because, you know, the customer in this case does not have to relamp their lamps any longer, we're able to realize for that customer energy, consumable savings, lamp savings over the lifetime in addition to those energy savings. And again, in this case, you're seeing 195 watts savings per fixture, which is 42% reduction in power. So here's a couple pictures from the TRW plant. And before, they kind of had a mishmash of metal halide and high pressure sodium lamps, mostly HPS, as you can see in this picture. But once we were able to upgrade that old 400 watt HPS with the new 250 watt MH, it's a drastic improvement in the area. There's an improvement in the working environment for the people, the comments that the people share. You know, as you can, I mean, the pictures speak for themselves. As opposed to being in a yellow type environment, now they're in a brightly lit environment, which brings a lot of merit to the project, in addition to the cost savings and the waste savings over time. McCain Foods was one of our first customers when we introduced the Glow Green product to the market. This was a good example where we did an internal retrofit again. So we took, in this case, it was food manufacturing. So these fixtures that they had were very expensive. They were washdown rated fixtures. And they really wanted to reuse their fixtures. They didn't want to replace their fixtures. Bullet 3 indicates, for a couple years, McCain Foods had been evaluating LED technology, induction technology, fluorescent technology. And when we came in and presented our solution, it was obvious that we were able to present to them the best solution in terms of initial buying cost, because we could do that retrofit, and in terms of energy savings, and in terms of performance, because we're talking about high bay lighting here that's at 30, 40 feet in some of the areas. We're also talking about applications that were high heat rooms, boiler rooms. So this solution, the digital HID ballast, is really geared towards these types of industrial applications. So McCain Foods is a good example of that. So for McCain's, we actually, they had really old magnetic ballasts that were operating less efficiently, around 22% losses to heat. And we were able to, in this case, by doing the 250 watt upgrade, to show them 45% energy savings. Further, McCain's introduced dimming into their warehousing areas, into the food storage areas. So each one of those fixtures in those areas has a motion sensor. So that in that area, the lamps are always operating at half their power, 125 watts. And only when a vehicle enters or when a person enters do those lamps instantly go back up to 100% power, 250 watts. Another food manufacturing plant example, H.J. Heinz. In this case, they had traditional 320 watt metal halide. The ceiling height was about 25 feet. By doing our initial evaluation, we quickly realized that 250 watt digital as well as 200 watt digital was too much, that we could in fact go with a 150 watt solution, and we were able to improve the light output over the 320 watt solution by over 70%. So the old system was producing about 120 lux measured at the ground. The new system was producing 455 lux. So for a fraction of the energy consumption, we reduced their energy consumption by 59%. We were able to get 5 times more light out of that application. So in terms of, we also offer the complete fixture packages for these applications that we're discussing. And this is an example of the 250 watt ballast fixture. And this particular product can operate at either the 200 watt setting or the 250 watt setting, which is switch selectable. And these are about 95% energy efficient. So the input power on each of those levels for the 250 watt is about 265 watt input power. For the 200 watt switch setting, it's about 214 watts input power. We can also match the ballast fixture with either aluminum or acrylic reflectors. We have 22-inch diameter sizes as well as 25-inch. And we can also accessorize these with drop lenses. Essentially, we can tailor this package, and we sell these as a package, which includes the reflector, the ballast, all the hardware you see, and the lamp. And we're able to do that most competitively. So we can take that package price, and if we have to modify a little bit with accessories, we can do that. Also, these fixtures, as well as all of the retrofit ballasts, we offer them in a dimmable model. So with dimming, we can further increase the energy savings. As I mentioned with McCain's, we were able to use a motion sensor and drop the power consumption by 50%. We can also use an analog input into this ballast, which would allow us complete control of the product. So using 0 volts DC to 10 volts DC, 0 volts to 5 volts DC correlates to lamp off. 5 volts DC to 10 volts DC input power to the analog port gives us 50% to 100% power control. And that can be seamless. It's no longer a one-step drop. It can be gradual or quickly. And the fixtures are available, as I mentioned, 200, 250, and also there's a 575 watt version, which would be the upgrade for traditional 750 watt to 1000 watt magnetic ballast systems. A couple more industry case studies. Air Canada, we are now working with them on various applications. We've completed a couple installations in their warehouse and tooling areas. And traditionally, Air Canada was using 400 watt fixtures again. In this case, we actually installed brand new fixtures, so we removed their old fixtures, and they installed the 200 watt, 250 watt fixture at a lower height, but at the 200 watt setting. So we were able to reduce the energy consumption by 42%, but also produce equivalent, if not greater, lighting levels than what they had previously. We also did an application for an airport hangar in Oregon recently. So again, I'm painting the picture of the 400 watt application, and you see a pattern here that any of these applications that we approach, if those 400 watt lamps have aged, or if you ask the customer, how often do you change your lamps? And they say, well, we change them when they die. Or if you ask them, are you happy with your lighting levels? And they say yes. and you say, well, how old are these lamps? Are they new? And they say, no, they're not new lamps, they're aged. We know that the 250 watt solution is going to apply there. And last case study is ice hockey arena installation, which is another common application you'll find in industry. And in this case, we again introduced brand new 250 watt fixtures with analog dimming, and same type of result. In this case, with analog dimming, and because it's an ice surface and it's white and it's reflective, in this case, they're actually reducing the output power of that ballast by 30 to 40%, and that's typically sufficient for the use such as ice skating, etc. So next we get into street light applications and parking lot lighting applications. And when we're retrofitting into outdoor fixtures, it's a little bit more forgiving because those fixtures tend to be bigger, and especially on the lower wattage size, which are your traditional street light fixtures or parking lot fixtures that are 400 watt or less, all the way down to 100 watt. We essentially, in most cases, can fit the retrofit ballast into those fixtures. I mentioned a shoebox fixture before, which is a typical fixture you'll see in industry. The 250 watt ballast fits into those typical fixtures very nicely. In fact, there's usually extra space in there, and heat sinking is not required. You don't need a separate aluminum plate, or as you can see here, we're showing Comerix type material, which is a heat transfer pad. This is something that we recommend instead of aluminum in most of the cases. If this ballast fits okay, and you know there's a little bit of clearance in there, that the wires aren't crimped. If the ballast is not directly next to the HID lamp, which is typically operating at 300 degrees, 400 degrees Celsius, then we are a green light to do a retrofit.
Excuse me for a second. Are we on blank screen right now, or did I get kicked off the webinar?
I don't know.
Anybody
We'll just
else?
take a break here. I think the conference.
Yeah, I've lost my screen too.
Okay,
Some
we
people
all lost
lost the screen.
Welcome. Presentation.
I'm going to do a couple questions.
Yep, no problem.
Actually, can you speak to the fact that on the Lexan reflector, there's a big difference optical wise with regard to the light that you can drop down to this one compared to an aluminum one.
Yeah.
And kind of touch on that if you can for a little bit.
Yep. We found the acrylic reflectors to be very efficient, and in fact more so efficient than many aluminum type reflectors. Especially like the spun aluminum type that perhaps have a dull coating on the inside. This type of refractor with its prismatic design is able to penetrate the light down, but also offer some uplight. So we're able to eliminate the effects of caving in an area. So this is definitely an option in 22-inch and 25-inch for either the 250 watt lamp or the 575 watt lamp.
Now, regarding streetlights, you had mentioned, and we discussed it before, kind of talk about the weatherproofing of these, because sometimes you can't get it to the inside.
Yeah. Well,
Right. So in the case that this won't fit inside of an outdoor enclosure or luminaire, today we have to put this inside of a NEMA 4 rated enclosure or IP66 rated outdoor enclosure. And a few slides back you could see a ballast mounted in that manner. So that's how essentially we have to solve that today. Doing that is okay. Putting this inside of any other luminaire that's an exterior luminaire is okay. This version of the ballast is protected. It's an aluminum casing. The PCB board on the inside is fully encapsulated in silicon, which means that it's not going to corrode. Now, if we can't fit this inside of a fixture, and let's say that you know, a NEMA 4 box is cost prohibitive or doesn't look nice. Exendo is releasing an outdoor rated version of our ballast. There's going to be 2 boxes. One box is going to cover the lower range, lower power applications. So from 50 watt to 250 watt, we'll put those ballasts into one size box, which is a pretty compact box, not much bigger than this. For the larger wattage products, 400 watt all the way to 1,000 watt, it's going to be in a different size box, which would be similar to this. And those outdoor ballasts, we're going to be releasing the lower wattage product soon, this summer. And then the higher wattage product will come later in the fall. But we can start proposing this stuff if there are applications.
So how far away can we get the ballast away from the lamp? So some of this decorative lighting that cities are putting in, you know, you'll have the base of the lamp there and the ballast is somewhere down in the base of the,
Yep.
of the lamp fixture and that sort of thing. How far away can we get away with it?
Yep. So 15 meters or 49 feet would be the maximum length from the ballast output to the socket. So the ballast.
And we still have
if
no
it's-
slides here, eh? I don't know if Roland knows that. Can you tell him? You have no slides?
Yeah, I think they're still working on getting the slides up for you.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. If you guys have any questions, feel free to blurt them out.
When you remote the ballast from the actual luminaire, do you have to increase your wire size?
Nope. At the 49 feet, it would be like I think it's an 8 gauge wire or
Emery?
I think so. And if you go further than the 49 feet, then you know we're going to reduce the energy efficiency of the system. Now, if it's a dimming ballast and we're providing a dimming input with a DC wire, then that distance can be as long as you want it because it's low voltage.
Yeah, so if they can see.
Hi guys, can you guys see the slide now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're good.
Yep, it's all good.
Okay, so also just touching on this slide, you know, we were talking a little bit about the environmental resistance of the product. You know, we deal in industrial applications, so we've built this product to be robust for those applications, and also bearing in mind that it's going to be outside in varying temperatures. So it's fully silicon potted. That's going to help the PCB withstand corrosion. It's going to help the product last its lifetime. In terms of ballast wattages, we've touched on the whole range, which is 50 watt to 1,000. And within that range of ballasts, each model number is going to have a selection of voltages available. Now, all the ballasts are available in 120 to 240 volt versions, as well as 240 volt to 277 volt versions. Then we have a 347 volt, which is available on the 150 watt wattage product and up. And then for the US market, we're also offering 480 volt options. Now, our 347 volt product is an actual model number. So this is a 347 volt ballast with the, you know, the transformer built in. And we are one of the first companies to introduce such a wide range of product and to also lead, knowing that for the Canadian market and the U.S. market that we have to be competing with these types of voltage products. And in competitive situations where we've come up against our direct competitors who have had to introduce a toroidal or a transformer, we were able to essentially beat them out because we're able to show a better cost. You'll see our products are very competitively priced versus the competition. The difference is you're going to see that our product is geared towards being a high quality product and also being a well supported product. So anytime there are any applications, we we can work hand in hand on the technical side and ensure that it's applied properly. In terms of these applications, this is also talking on municipality applications. So in the beginning, when we're talking about one source solutions, these retrofit solutions are going to apply across a whole diverse range of industries, which, as we've touched on in the case studies, can include airports, sports fields, greenhouses, etc. So Exendo also is offering turnkey street lighting as well as parking lot lighting, pathway lighting packages. The two series we offer are the Venus and the Orion. The Venus, first Venus package, the Venus 1, is available with either the 50 watt, the 70 watt, or the 100 watt ballast. So that is a choice, and also a choice of lamp, whether it's metal halide or high pressure sodium lamp. And then we have the Venus 2, which covers 100 watt, 150 watt, 200 watt, 250 watt. And then we have an even larger version of this product called the Orion, which is up to 250 watt as well. So again, you can see just by the range of this package and the ballast you can implement with it, we're spanning the whole range of applications that are out there, which are going to be the magnetic 70 watt all the way up to the magnetic 400 watt products. And these fixtures are geared towards new developments, of course, but also as an alternative to a retrofit solution. We may find with a municipality that a retrofit is cost prohibitive because of labor, for example, or because the existing lighting infrastructure is aged. There are a lot of Cobra head fixtures out there that are not very high quality Cobra head fixtures, and they tend to accumulate debris on the inside of them, including insects, dust, debris, etc. So they require more frequent maintenance over their lifetime. They have to be cleaned. They have to be relamped. So we've introduced this chassis through our partner Celsa, and this is a chassis that is IP66 rated. So it's a sealed unit, and we've essentially introduced a bracket system which houses the digital ballast, and there can be accessories added to this package. We have photo eyes that are 10-year or more photo, more lifespan photo sensors, because traditionally the photo sensor is one of the first things to go in these systems. It has to be replaced. So that's something we can offer as a part of the package. The lamp is a long life lamp that we offer with this package, a lamp that lasts over 11 years. And also we can include a surge protector with this system. So if we're talking about an existing infrastructure that the lamp posts don't have fuses in the base, and there's concern of voltage spikes, then in that case we can also introduce a surge protector. And in terms of the reflector itself, this is actually a dark sky compliant product. And we've introduced, instead of a straight flat lens, we have a curved lens design. And there's a lot of merit to this design because it's able to, as you can see, if you look at it from the side profile, we're able to get the light spread down the street. So especially if you're looking at your traditional street lighting or highway lighting, which calls for type 3 classification, this is a design that's well suited to that. So what does it mean? It means that we can get the light further down the road. It means that in new development, we can spread the lamp posts out further. So there are cost savings that can be realized with this type of design. In terms of the lamp that we're offering, Exendo is partnered with Aura Lighting out of Sweden. And
Can I ask you a question?
Yep, go ahead.
Can you put a Zigbee control in that?
This is not ready for RF communication. So you would need a third party that would supply an input voltage to our product. And then with that, you'd be able to control the lamp on off or or dim it. So we would build the ballast with an analog input, and we'd partner with a third-party device to do that type of control. Yeah. So in terms of the lamp that goes with this solution, and we use the term 10-year solution because this really is a design that's made to be trouble-free over that period of time or longer. The Aura Sodinet lamp is a high-pressure sodium lamp, a very high-quality high-pressure sodium lamp that's designed for extended long life. You can see some of the points here. 70,000 plus hours lifetime. Now this is with a magnetic ballast. So when we introduce a digital HID ballast, we can actually get better performance out of that lamp. There's a very low failure rate on this lamp. At 80% of its life, at about 50,000 hours, there should be less than 5% failures. So when we're selling this lamp, we know that it's going to last that long, so we can also use that as a negotiation tool, because we can guarantee that if a lamp burns out, let's say within the first 5 years, then we can just hand them a new lamp and say, here you go, here's a replacement. Lumen maintenance on this lamp with the digital HID ballast is 95%. With your traditional magnetic ballast, it's 85%. And what makes this lamp different from your traditional lamp? You guys are welcome to come and observe these afterwards, but just by picking up a traditional lamp, you're going to notice quite a few differences, even in sound. Okay? And this is a problem for traditional lamps, because if there's a windstorm or if that post is vibrating any, potentially this high-pressure sodium lamp is going to fail, and that adds cost to the operation. Someone's going to have to relamp it sooner. There's waste in the environment, there's mercury, etc. So the Sodinet lamp is designed actually with a spring system in the top, which is designed to keep the super burner, which are the burn chambers on the inside, intact and without vibration. You'll notice that there's 2 burners on the inside compared to your traditional high-pressure sodium lamp. So few benefits in terms of having 2 burners. Number one is that we can instant restrike this lamp. So if this lamp is operating at full power, one of these burners is going to be burning at full power. If there's a lightning strike or a brownout, then essentially the burner that's not operating, when the power comes back on, the burner that's only warm, that one will start up. And that one will already be at 80% of its output power. So instant restrike is now something that is a capability and with this type of design. Also, we have on the back here this white stick, and there's also a couple other components in the top and bottom. These are designed to reclaim the gases in the lamp, the high-pressure sodium gases. So 2 chambers, a system that maintains the gases in the lamp, and lastly, a quality of glass. Okay, this is a blown glass versus your traditional, this is extruded glass. So if you look at this, under a light, you can observe that this has lines in it, it has striations. This is porous glass. The old glass is porous, so that means that the gases that are in there are starting to escape. So all of these problems lead to premature failure or premature degradation of that lamp. So a better quality built lamp, 2 super burners, and other technologies which make this product last 70,000 hours and beyond. Does anybody have any questions? So also from Aura is essentially a product line that they've dominated on the market since they introduced it about 30 years ago. And this is their patented fluorescent tube technology. And it also includes compact fluorescent lamps. So into the North American market, there's the T5 EcoSaver, which is available as a high efficiency type or a high output type. And this is really key because recently, for example, Aura established a working relationship with IKEA worldwide. And IKEA is a company that uses close to 250,000 lamps on a yearly basis at all their facilities, warehouses, stores, etc. And Aura was able to present and demonstrate to them that these are the key benefits. If you stop using the lamp that you're using before and go with essentially the T5 EcoSaver, we're not replacing the ballast. All we're doing is just taking out the old lamp and popping in the new lamp. They achieve a 10% energy savings right off the bat. Secondly is that, especially in retail where lumen levels are important, retailers tend to relamp a lot, maybe once a year or twice a year, because traditional fluorescent lamps are lasting maybe 10, 20,000 hours. So we're able to introduce a solution that lasts 60,000 hours. These solutions are also guaranteed. There's a lifetime guarantee on the high pressure sodium lamp. There's a lifetime guarantee on the fluorescent product as well. So we stand behind the product 100%. Now, you know, IKEA is a good example, but also other industries outside of the retail industry. Everyone is very conscious about the environment. So we're also able to demonstrate that by going to this type of product, because it lasts longer, there's a huge impact had on the environment. There's 5 times reduction in lamp changes, 5 times less environmental impact, which means less packaging, less transportation costs, gas. CO2 emissions are reduced completely. And there's some other applications where these products are applied: warehouses, car parks, retail, shopping malls, etc. So in terms of light sources on the market today, and you'll notice that Xendo today is focused on 2 key technologies, which are digital HID, high pressure sodium metal halide lamps, as well as fluorescent. And LED is definitely on our radar. In our partnership of companies, there is an LED company existing, but the market is just not ready yet for the product. And really what we're talking about is in terms of cost efficiency and in terms of performance. Today, in terms of those 2 parameters, DHID lighting, especially for industrial applications where you have high ceiling heights, is going to be the best suited option. Second would be fluorescent lamp systems, especially if you're able to utilize the Aura product, which gives you an extended lifetime. So what that gives us today with those 2 technologies is essentially solutions for the full scope of products or applications that are out there. And we're able to demonstrate, as we have time and time again, the best ROI compared to other technologies. So I'm just going to touch on the last couple slides on where Xendo is moving in the future. We're a company that's dedicated to research and development, to evolving our products, and to partnering with other companies that can also complement our solutions. We're really solution focused. And this is a great example here. This is a product that was designed by the reflector itself on the inside, which looks like a mirror, is a patented design by a company called Hella out of Germany, and they're famous for designing headlamp systems for high-end cars as well as domestic vehicles. And this entire unit is made of plastic, so it's designed to be fully recyclable. It's designed to be very, very cost-effective, so cheap, but without compromising performance. So with this type of reflector design, which is essentially a mirror that is able to aim the light to where we want it, and with the use of Aura compact fluorescent lamps and also HID light sources, this is one of the future products that we want to bring to the market. We have some of these already installed in pilots. For example, at the Pearson International Airport, they're considering these for some of the warehousing areas. The CFL lamp in this case is a 57-watt lamp, and we're even considering upgrading a traditional 400-watt lamp system with this at a lower height, but with the light aimed in the right spot. So this is the future, and the warehouse lighting is a product that will become available soon. The street lighting product is more into the new year, and for Canada, especially for cold climates, we'd want to stick with HID light sources because the CFL is not doesn't perform as well when it gets down to minus 25 or greater. So our focus on the DHID ballast is to continue evolving it. I'm proud to introduce a new exciting product that Aura has developed for our ballast. This is actually in my hands the world's first instant restrike metal halide lamp. So this is where we're going with DHID. We're solving the traditional problems that are inherent to DHID. Magnetic ballast, when they restrike traditionally metal halide lamps, it can take 15 minutes to get that lamp back up. We've improved that. We can light up the metal halide lamp. You know, it'll turn on instantly. It'll take about 60 seconds to 120 seconds to get it to full power. If there's an instant restrike, though, we're still at about a 3-minute, maybe 8-minute or more, restrike time. And a lot of that has to do with the lamp itself, the physics of the gases in the lamp. So how did Aura solve that? Well, we saw with the HPS lamp that they have 2 super burners. Well, you may have seen in metal halide lamps a similar burn chamber to this. So this is like a power ball. It's also similar to like a ceramic metal halide type of structure. So you see there's 2 of those in there. So it's the same principle. When we light this lamp up, one burn chamber burns. If there's a power outage, the other one that's not on will be the one that cycles on instantly. And because it's already warm, it's instant restrike, which means that we're already at full power. We're already at over 80% lumen output. So this is a 70-watt product. This is the first one in the world. The next product to come will be 100-watt. After that, 150-watt. 150-watt product, because it takes time to develop and bring this to market, is more towards the end of 2011. And then in the next year, we're looking at the 250-watt. We talked
on that new bulb that you have. I noticed that the base is the lower scale.
Yep.
It's in the module. So if we were to have to redo the light fixture, all the street lights now are the module base. So we'd have to change the socket then.
So on the lower wattage product, especially like 70-watt, 50-watt, they typically come with this type of medium base. Off the top of my head, I don't recall if you can get a mogul base, but there's an adapter that you can just put on here. So let's think of a real life example. Let's say that we were upgrading a traditional street light that was 150-watt magnetic. The 150-watt has a mogul socket.
That's right.
So in that case, we would just introduce an adapter and insert this lamp accordingly.
Okay.
Yep.
Does that affect the performance
No,
or longevity of the light bulb?
the only thing that'll change is, let's say this is a 150-watt lamp, and we pop in a lamp that's a little bit smaller. You'll notice that where the plasma will be burning might be offset slightly. Okay, typically it's not an issue at all, but that is one of the minor differences.
The adapter will actually fix that problem.
Yeah, you could put a spacer in there too. Yep. So different ways that we can essentially solve that. One of the key words I like to use as well when I'm talking about our solutions is flexibility. You can understand that when you're dealing with a municipality, they have every application under the sun. And when it comes to municipality street lighting application, each municipality is going to have its own specification. So, especially in terms of reflectance, IES properties. So we can build this to match exactly what it is that they have. Last few points, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is the outdoor rated ballast we talked about. So that's a product that's going to be coming this summer. And we're also working on expanding our essentially a fluorescent package. So we have the HID packages, but we also want to introduce a long life fluorescent package. So these would be anywhere from 3 lamp or 2 lamp systems all the way up to perhaps 10 lamp systems, featuring the Aura long life lamp product. And we touched a little bit on RF-based, there was a question on RF-based communication, and automatic dimming is another form of dimming that Exendo is developing. In fact, we already have over 10,000 installations abroad, outside of North America, with an automatic dimming module. I can share more about this as you learn about the product, but essentially what it is it's a module that would plug in with the ballast, and it would have a timer in it, so that at the end of the day, when this street light, for example, turns on with its photo sensor, the timer or the program would start, and after an elapsed set of time, the system would enter into a dim mode. And the suggested elapsed set of time would be 6 hours, 7 hours, so that we're dimming this after midnight when less traffic is on the road. Or for parking lots, if we're talking about automotive dealerships, we may introduce automatic dimming, because after midnight, after 1 o'clock in the morning, why not dim that, the parking lot lighting by 20%? It doesn't do a lot to reducing the security in the area or reducing light levels in general, because HID is penetrating, but it reduces energy consumption, and that adds up. So in conclusion, I hope you guys have a clear understanding of how it is that we apply our solutions. There's going to be more new and exciting products coming in the future. And I thank you for your time. And if you have a moment, visit our website as well as our blog. And feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you. Go ahead.
Are